where does a cat go when it loses its tail? The retail store. Hi, my name is Heather Huffman, and I am honored to be hosting a Daily Jolt today. Today we're going to hear about some cattails, like you just heard. We're going to hear about water aerobics, and you're also going to see my friends and I sing about bananas.
I like bananas. I think the mangoes are sweet. I like papayas, but nothing can beat that sweet love of God. Well, I was walking around in circles, going 5 miles an hour, trying to find my way back to my heavenly Father. The world tastes sweet, but then it's just sour. Then I asked him in and received his power. I like bananas. I think the mangoes are sweet. I like papayas, but nothing can beat that sweet love of God. Shooby-doo-wop, 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 doo-wop. Oh, woo! Shooby-doo-wop, 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 doo-wop. Well, I like bananas. Woo! I think that mangoes are sweet. And I like papayas, but nothing can beat the sweet love of God. Doo-wop, shooby-doo-wop, shooby-doo-wop, doo-wop. The sweet love of God. Doo-wop, shooby-doo-wop, shooby-doo-wop, doo-wop. Well, as I was walking, trying to find my way back to my heavenly Father. The world tastes sweet, but then it tastes sour. Then I asked him in and received his power. A 1, a 2, a 3. Well, I like bananas. I think that mangoes are sweet, and I like papayas, but nothing can beat the sweet love of God. Doo-wop, shooby-doo-wop, shooby-doo-wop, doo-wop. The sweet love of God. Doo-wop, shooby-doo-wop, shooby-doo-wop, the sweet love of God.
Thanks, Vivian. Here at the waterfront today, we have the psychedelic rubber ducky aerobics team. Let's check out some of the moves they have.
Calories. This is repentance for that cheeseburger you ate. Keep it up. Keep it up. Come on. Keep it up. Curly fry, do it right. Do it right. Yes. Now up, down.
Wow, look at those fresh moves. They're so fresh.
Turn it. Turn it. Turn it. Now up. Now down. Now wave your arms. Up. Up. Down. Speed up. Keep it up. We're almost there. We're going to get it today. Yeah, kids, we're going to get it today. Yeah, keep it up. Now slow down, and relax. Get that heart rate down. All right, do you feel that heart rate?
Yes, I do.
You feel that heart rate? Oh, no. Curly fry. Focus. Come on. Let's
Get
go.
together, man.
Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. All right, now we're going to speed it up. We're going to pull that heart rate up. Now, up, down, up, down, up, down. Good job, keep it up. You're doing great.
Oh my, let's hope nobody pulls a muscle there.
Down, now side to side, side to side. All right, now let's do that synchronized swimming we're so good at. Line them up. Oh! Beautiful. Now let's watch him. Come on.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It looks like the aerobics team has now moved on to a synchronized swimming.
3! Beautiful angels! Take a bow, beautiful angels! Wonderful!
Well, if you want to see more moves like this, stay tuned tomorrow at the newscaster. Back to you at the Jolt.
Thank you, Claire. Let's see what Nature Boy's up to.
We're on our way right now to the swamps, TRC, and search for a plant that has a lot more uses than you may initially think it does. This plant is known none other than the cattail. Let's see if we can find one over here. Let's go. All right, boys and girls, I think I've spotted a cattail in there. Can you tell me if you see it? I'm gonna go in there and try to grab one. Boys and girls, it took a lot of mucking through the swamp, and I mean a lot of mucking through the swamp. But check it out over here. Boop. We found ourselves a cattail. If you give me one moment here, let me see if I can't pull it up for us. Ah, look at that. We got ourselves a cattail. Now, interesting thing about the cattail is it's one of the most useful plants that you can find in a swamp. Every single part of this plant actually has multiple uses for it. Starting at the top, the cattail itself, this is actually the seed pod of the cattail, and you can actually break this up into its little fibrous bits and use it as fire starter. And interesting enough, this also was used by the US Navy in World War II as a flotation device. Go figure. The stalk of the cattail can actually be turned into chopsticks if you dry it up, and it also is used in the formation of some boat making by tribes of Peru and Bolivia. And lastly, if we take a look here at the bottom, you'll notice there's a rhizome here at the bottom, right? You see that? It doesn't look very appetizing now, but you can actually boil this, cook it up, fry it. You can basically cook it up any way you want. And this can be eaten just like a potato and has quite similar nourishment to it. But you see, now that I've told you about the cattail, what's the point, right? What's the spiritual lesson to be taken from this creation of God? Well, let me sit down here and I'll tell you all about it. You know, I asked you boys and girls earlier what the spiritual lesson is to be gained from something as simple as a cattail. And I really think the key to it is in the number of different uses that it has. I mentioned earlier that every single part of this plant can be used for something. And something I didn't even tell you is that the leaves on this can actually be dried and turned into cordage. And you know, it's very interesting that the cattail's a lot like us. We have a ton of different uses, right? Different things that we're good at, different skills, different talents. It's really hard sometimes to know which one God really wants us to pursue. But I'm here to tell you that actually God wants us to use all of our skills and talents. Let's take a look here in the Bible here to one of my favorite verses, Proverbs 16 verse 3, which says, "Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans." You know, the interesting thing about this is no matter what you're good at, whatever skills or talents that God may have given you, you know, maybe you're good at bringing people together, you know, in large groups. Maybe you're good at drawing or painting, you know, artistic talents. Or maybe you just have an incredible love for the outdoors and you can't wait to share it with others. Whatever it is, if you commit it to the Lord, you daily ask God, how can I use this talent for you? He will establish your plans. He'll provide a way to draw others to Him. He'll allow a way for you to show His love through you, through that special skill and talent that He gave you. And quite honestly, that's an amazing thing. And I thank God that He not only gave this cattail so many uses, but that He gave each and every one of us an infinite number as well. Let's head back on up to the man cave and back to camp. That's all I have for today, boys and girls. And remember, I'm Nature Boy, and until next time, don't forget to go out and explore God's nature.
never runs dry. And there is a faith, it's more than a feeling. And there is no question that I found the real thing. And I would rather die than live one day without you. Why? 'Cause your love is better than life. Might as well praise you all of my days. Because your love is better than life. Might as well praise you all of my days. All of my days. And there is a place where I am accepted. And there is a shelter where I am protected. 'Cause you are my savior, my true companion. And I will pursue you with reckless abandon. And I would rather die than live one day without you. Why? 'Cause your love is better than life. Might as well praise you all of my days. Because your love is better than life. Might as well praise you all of my days. All of my days. All I need is a miracle. All I need is you. All I need is a miracle. All I need is you. All I need is a miracle. All I need is you. All I need is a miracle. All I need is you. All of my days. All of my days. All of my days. All of my days. 'Cause your love is better than life. My lips will praise you all of my days. Because your love is better than life. My lips will praise you all of my days. All of my days.
Man, singing with that group of people is such a treasure. Now let's go to Ray for a spiritual thought.
Hi campers. So I just wanted to talk to you about something that I thought was super cool. I didn't think it was cool when I was younger. You see, there's this concept that that we have nowadays where we just want to be nice to the people who are nice to us, and it's hard to actually like even approach somebody who is mean to us, much less decide to love them or do good to them. And I remember when I was younger, I was I know it's hard to believe, I was bullied, and there was a time when I was in school. I remember the kids, they pushed me up against the locker in the guys' locker room, and my little sixth grade heart thought that I was gonna die. I thought that I was gonna die. Because I don't know if it was because of the way my hair was, the fact that I wore glasses, the fact that I looked different than the people that were picking on me. But I thought that that there was no way that I could ever love or be kind to people who would do that to me. And I remember just not saying it out loud because I didn't know how they would react to it. I was kind of afraid, but I said a little prayer in my heart. I was like, God, please save me, please save me. And just then our coach came into the locker room, and he pulled the guys off of me, and he was like, what are you guys doing? And he sent them to the principal office. And later on, it was like a week or two after, I was listening to somebody talking, and they were talking about Jesus and how they loved Jesus because Jesus took a completely different approach on life. And one of the things that they said, that Jesus said, it's found in Matthew 5 verse 43, and Jesus says, You've heard the law say that you must love your neighbor. And I've heard that. They said, love your neighbor as yourself and hate your enemy. And then this is the part that just blew my mind. Jesus says, but I say, love your enemy and pray for those who persecute you. And I thought that that was incredible because, like, Jesus sounded kind of weird, and I could imagine that that he was bullied when he was younger as well, because he thought differently than how other people think. And I like taking that approach, because now in life I go through life thinking to myself, it's okay if people think that I'm weird. It's okay if people think that I'm different. People thought that Jesus was weird, and people thought that he was different, but Jesus has a way of living that just seems so happy, and I want that. Jesus says, but I say, love your enemies, pray for those who persecute you. I want to challenge you today to try and love your enemy the way that Jesus would, and pray for them if they're hurting you.
Wow, what a morning. Thank you so much for joining us. We've been through a lot together, from water aerobics to having deep spiritual talks with Ray about loving your neighbor. I miss you guys so much, and it's been an honor to host the Daily Jolt with you.